Hey there, thanks for tuning into Duck Bricks. I'm Chris, and today we're going to be taking a look at every single one of the brand new LEGO Ninjago January 2024 minifigures. From the 6 new mech suits to slightly new looks for Eren and Sora to the wolf mask villains, this is a video summarizing every single minifigure that comes in the brand new LEGO Ninjago sets, including some of these mechs right here. And so, without further ado, let's jump right into our look at the brand new LEGO Ninjago ninja suits, villains, minifigures, and more. Here are all 25 minifigures from the first wave of Ninjago Dragons Rising Season 2 sets, which just came out on January 1st, 2024. Included in the wave are 6 brand new outfits for the ninja, specifically mech pilot suits, as well as a couple of different variations on the mech pilot outfits for some of the spinners, a Master Lloyd minifigure who is undoubtedly going to be appearing in the future Ninjago sets, some repeats from the previous wave with some minor upgrades for Sora and Eren, as well as a host of new villains. This year's faction for the villains are the Wolf Mask Warriors. As such, we get some with hoods, some with wolf masks, Lord Raz reappearing from Dragons Rising Season 1 in a brand new outfit, as well as his 2 new generals, Cinder, the new Elemental Master of Smoke, as well as Jordana, who appeared in Ninjago Dragons Rising Season 1. Out of all the figures, only one of them, specifically Nia in the mech pilot outfit, does have an alternate hairpiece to use. The rest of them is pretty much what you see is what you get, and a lot of these minifigures are duplicates. In fact, the Wolf Warriors are pretty much all identical to each other, despite a few different changes in weapons, or jetpack, or hood and hat, as well as the ninja themselves being mostly uniform across the entire team. Strangely enough, Eren and Sora, the brand new characters, do not actually get any new suits for the wave. They get some new components. Eren specifically gets a brand new dual molded golden and keyed orange component for the hood there, but Sora doesn't even get any new components of her own, instead just reconfiguring existing components, and in one case, just giving us the existing minifigure we already got from her for Season 1. Moving onwards from that though, the main ninja do have brand new outfits which are fairly uniform with each other. They're pretty much all identical aside from a few different color swaps, which makes sense given that they are mech outfits, and really the only brand new completely unique ninja outfit is Master Lloyd here, who has some very unique white robes for the first time in Ninjago history. We're going to set aside the villains and focus in on the ninja and heroes for now, and I want to just focus in on the brand new mech pilot suits first because I feel like those are the most important to begin this video on. Here's what the new mech pilot suits look like. You can see that each of the original 6 ninja gets one. I really do feel like Sora and Eren definitely should have gotten mech pilot suits as well. Technically, this is supposed to be mech pilot Eren, but it's literally just normal Eren with a new hood, so I'm not really buying it. And mech Sora is basically just using her existing outfit, but just putting a half mask and using the existing hairpiece, so there aren't really anything new going on with this one as well. In terms of these suits themselves, the ninja are reusing their Dragons Rising Season 1 faces, which I think works totally okay for suits like these. I actually really like these new hoods, especially because when the armor is put on, you can kind of rotate the heads even with the hoods on, which was a big complaint I had with these Season 1 outfits. The masks were part of the armor, so you couldn't actually rotate the heads and have your figures look around, locking them into one pose. This is very evident when you take Sora, for instance, which is a repeat minifigure from Dragons Rising Season 1. Because the mask part is part of the armor, you can't really rotate the head whatsoever, and you can't really get it in any good poses. And even if you want to display them with the mask down, you can't display them with the armor then, because they're connected to the armor, which I feel like is a major design misstep. Coming back to the mech pilot suits here, I honestly do not expect these to really play a major role in the show itself. We've seen them already appear in shorts, which have been posted on LEGO.com's YouTube channel, so I guess you can see the suits there, but to be completely honest, I would imagine that these are almost like filler suits. They kind of almost are like the spinner suits we used to get, or the air jitsu suits, which exist to promote the mechs and exist to actually have the ninja be part of the mechs, but then they'll be getting the newer suits, the climber outfits, when the actual story kicks off later on. That being said though, I actually do really like most of the color combinations here. We're going to go in order of all the ninja, and I'm going to put their regular faces on so you can see exactly what they look like. Starting off with Lloyd. Lloyd's, I think, is one of the best. His has a really nice green, dark green, and gold color, which typically works very well for his character. I really like the look and feel of this particular outfit. On the back they have Mech written on it in Ninjargon, which is the Ninjago language, and I think the transition between this kind of bright green and dark green works really well for the character. Overall, This is one of the best ones from the wave. There's nothing super fancy going on with it, but it is a perfectly serviceable green ninja outfit. Kai, on the other hand, is also pretty good. This one's doing a little bit more with dark red, flame yellowish orange, and gold, but I think it does work quite well for Kai. One of my biggest complaints, though, is that only half the ninja, specifically Lloyd, Zane, and Nia, have armor pieces, whereas the other half, Jay, Kai, and Cole, do not have armor, and that's specifically so that these ninja can fit within their mechs, whereas these three ninja did not come with mechs, so they actually have the armor pieces added on. Personally, I really wish they did include the armor pieces, especially because we've already seen in the show itself, all of these suits, particularly Kai and Cole's, do have the armor pieces, or at least they're supposed to have them, so that's not a huge deal, but I really do wish we did actually have those for the figures. But maybe in March we'll be getting more sets with these figures that may actually have them with armor, who knows. Moving on from that, we have Kai's sister Nia. Now this one is a little bit mixed for me. I definitely feel like trying to include two different metallic colors with the gunmetal gray and the gold does clash a little bit for me. I understand it though, because Nia predominantly does have a gunmetal gray color scheme, so they did want to factor that in while also factoring in the uniform gold that every single one of the suits does have this secondary gold coloration to it with gold hands. So I get why they had to do it, but I don't think it's the strongest on Nia, although it is pretty nice, and I definitely like it a lot better than the spinner version of the outfit that she got, which is the identical outfit except the mask has been swapped for a dual molded azure and gold mask, which I feel just really doesn't work at all, and I feel like then the gold is way too much on this particular figure. More on that later. Moving onwards to Zane here, Zane typically has some of my favorite suits, and this one is just okay. I feel like Zane always looks better when he is predominantly white and silver versus white and gold, but again, they were trying to do something fully uniform for these minifigures and make them almost solely gold highlighted, so I understand why they had to do it. I definitely feel like the new dual molded masks are interesting. I like a lot of things about them. I like the dual molding. But I also feel that maybe the top part being one solid color and being the accent color is just a little bit too overwhelming for me. I almost feel like the colors should have been switched, where the headband should have been a specialized color and the base color should have been in white, much like a lot of the other ninja. And it is the most apparent when it comes to Cole here. Cole here has a very orange top of the head. When you look at it from the front, it works. I think it works okay. But from the top, I feel like there's almost too much orange on this figure, and that doesn't fully work for me just in terms of its current configuration. It is what it is. It's not my favorite suit for Cole, but I guess it is uniform with the rest of the ninja, so it's not that big of a deal. Lastly, for Jay here, I actually really like it when Jay does the kind of cool yellow color mixed in with the blue, dark blue, and gold. So this is another really good one for me, and this time the dark blue on the top of the head doesn't really detract from the overall color scheme. I actually think it works out really well for this character, so I'm pretty happy with it. Overall, I'm pretty happy with how the ninja can form a fairly cohesive team by just all coming together. Unfortunate that the only ninja to also come with a hairpiece is Nia, and I definitely feel that they should have all come with hairpieces, but I'm gonna guess that Nia came with the hairpiece due to marketing reasons so that kids would understand that Nia was a female character, which I think is a little bit outdated for LEGO to continue doing that. Maybe there was another reason behind it, and it is always good to get hairpieces, but it was weird to get Nia in the same set as Lloyd, but she has an alternate hairpiece and Lloyd does not. Just why not throw in Lloyd's hairpiece as well? Moving on from these standard ninja suits though, let's take a look at the spinner variants. Kai and Nia here have exclusive, well not spinners, they have exclusive Dragon Rising Strike variants, which are basically the spinner versions. They are identical to the Mech pilot suits, except they are utilizing a predominantly gold hood. Kai's is okay, I still prefer his normal look better, but I do like the ZX shoulder pads being used on these particular armor suits. And Nia's, as I mentioned, does feel like a bit of a downgrade to me, especially because I feel like the colors just barely work on the main figure, but then here there's just too much gold. Moving onwards, I just want to cover the new recruits very briefly. Sora here gets two variants, which are not super interesting because they are versions of the character we have seen before. We haven't officially gotten this iteration of Sora in a set, but you can create this out of existing pieces. None of these pieces are new for this figure, so it's not that big of a deal for me. Aaron, on the other hand, is honestly sporting a suit that I'm not the biggest fan of. I feel like the gold is a little bit too strong for the hood. I get why they had to do the gold for this version, because again, they wanted to make him match with the rest of the Dragon's Rising Strike characters, But for a standard suit appearing in the 4+ set, I feel like the main mask part should have been keyed orange, and then maybe they should have just done this color of orange for the top. I feel like that just would have looked a lot better for the character. Maybe they didn't quite have the budget to give Aaron a brand new outfit for just a random 4+ set, but this just doesn't really work for me because the gold feels like it kind of comes out of nowhere because there's no other gold on the torso whatsoever. At least when they did it for the other characters, you have gold hands, you have gold integrated into the torsos because that's the entire point of the suits, but for Aaron, since they're just reusing the existing components, there isn't really anything interesting going on. However, there is a really great minifigure that we just got here in the form of Master Lloyd. At long last, after first having a Master Lloyd plotline in Season 7, kind of abandoning that for Season 8, and then finally returning to it in Dragon's Rising, we have a full-on Master Lloyd minifigure. I highly suspect this figure is supposed to have a cape. You can see that there is a chain there for him to wear a cape, and the only reason why he doesn't is that they're probably waiting to keep that part of the figure exclusive to when he appears in future March Ninjago sets. I have seen some of the March Ninjago sets already during fan media days, but full disclosure, the Master Lloyd figure was not completed at the time that we were actually shown the sets, so I had no idea what he looks like, so this is pure speculation, but I would be surprised if he didn't show up with a brown cape for a future set. Still, cape or not, the minifigure is gorgeous. I love the gold, white, and dark green detailing. It is pretty much the perfect Master Lloyd minifigure to me, and I like the use of the headband as well, kind of signifying the master status. I only wish that he got maybe an older and maybe wiser face print. I think that is really the only thing missing to complete the look. And in case you're curious, here's what the entire team looks like with those armor pieces on, which I definitely feel looks a lot better and makes them feel like a very cohesive and unified team. Moving on from that, we can now take a look at the villainous faction of the wave. And the villains are some of my favorites for this entire lineup. First off, Lord Raz returns from Season 1, this time sporting a black and purple outfit, which is very different from his original appearance, but one that really works for me. I love how he is the only member of the faction to have this darker color scheme. The rest of them predominantly use dark blue, which I think is also really cool, but it sets Lord Raz apart and makes him feel that much more special. I love the detailing of the eclipse on the back of the torso there. That just looks really, really cool to me. The metallic silver details are also phenomenal, and while it is a disappointment that he does not have arm printing anymore, maybe they'll give him arm printing in a future set. We'll just have to wait and see. And otherwise, the color scheme is really, really working for me. The hammer is alright, it's just a fairly standard build, but I think it works for the character itself. And overall, he's a really interesting new character to get for Ninjago Dragon's Rising. Moving onwards, we have his two lieutenants. I'm going to start off with the less interesting one here. This one is Jordana, who was kind of a member of Imperium before she turned coat and decided to help Lord Raz instead after the fall of Imperium. She shares the exact same torso as the other General Cinder, who we'll take a look at in a second, and unfortunately, because the hairpiece they used for her in the show has been long discontinued and the mold has been destroyed, they decided to use a different hairpiece instead, which I guess works alright for the character, but I feel like it could have been a little bit better if LEGO just decided to either bring back the mold or tell the animators to stop using a discontinued mold for major characters. Still, I love the sand blue fur element. This was first used for, I believe, Kraven the Hunter, and it was later used for Vulture, and it was used in the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them sets, but I really like this particular LEGO piece. They've used it a ton in dark gray from Monkey Kid, but this I believe is the first time we're getting it in sand blue, and it fits these characters so well, and I'm excited to see what role Jordana will play in the new show. Overall though, the figure is fairly basic, nothing super crazy going on here, so we can move on to Cinder, who might be one of my favorite new character minifigures from the wave. Now Cinder has a transparent black headpiece here with two faces. He has one where you can see the entirety of his face here shrouded in smoke, and it is fully transparent, showcasing he is almost evaporating into smoke as you see him. And on the other side, you can see that he's covered his mouth up with this metallic silver smoke, which just looks so cool. I love the design of this character and figure. It is a really good looking one, and they finally have recolored the LEGO Batman movie Joker hair in light gray, which you can use for Twitchy Tim as well. Overall, the outfit for the two generals are pretty good. I like the runes on them, I like the symbol, it just looks pretty interesting overall, and I just really am a big fan of the way the faction turned out for this wave. Speaking of the generic minions, let's take a look at some of them right now. This is the most common Wolf Mask Warrior, utilizing a brand new dual molded dark blue and azure headpiece here. It looks really great, and I love how they recolored the Khopesh sword from Pharaoh's Quest in silver. We are getting an exclusive new wolf sword mold later on in March that is dual molded with like gunmetal gray and trans red, which looks amazing. So I'm really excited for that to come out as their signature weapon, as Ninjago typically gives their villains signature weapons like that, like the Anacondri sword, but these definitely do for these solid kind of lower class minions. I think that they are pretty good. You have kind of a rough and tattered logo on the back, especially when compared to the very ornate logo that Lord Raz has. It shows that these ones are a little bit lower down on the totem pole, and when you remove the mask, you can see they have a powered up mode one side and a regular mode on the other side, which I feel are going to be very, very useful for Japanese inspired LEGO MOCs. Here's what one of the archers looks like with both powered up and regular incarnations. They are identical minifigures, just using a different headpiece on either side. And I love how the archers are using the dark blue Obi-Wan Kenobi hood from Star Wars because, of course, it works very well for these cultist-like characters. Lastly, one of them does get a separate glider, and the glider is just alright. It's nothing super special. I think it's a little bit wacky as a glider, and I'm not sure if I'm totally sold on it as a working glider to actually use to fly, but maybe you can use your imagination. They are maybe using magic to propel themselves after all, and I think it's just a nice addition to kind of spice them up a little bit and make them feel like they're at least different members of the same faction. Overall, I definitely feel like this is one of the strongest LEGO Ninjago villain factions in a long time. Each and every one of the designs feels really distinct. I am a big fan of how this wolf army all came together. They're really cool looking, they feel very menacing, they feel unique compared to other Ninjago villains, especially compared to what we've gotten in the past, and I would be very happy if LEGO will put these on Pick-a-Brick, which I'm sure they will because they've been putting all the Ninjago figure components on Pick-a-Brick, so I can army build them like I army built the massive Imperium army, which is still a video I need to put out now that I'm reminded of it. Overall, I definitely feel like the villains are a lot cooler than the heroes, for at least this wave, and maybe that will change when the Climber ninja suits come out in March, but the villains definitely take the cake for me. They are so unique, they are so distinct, and the hero suits are just kind of okay. Nothing super outstanding about the hero suits. I feel like they are perfectly serviceable mech suits, and I'm not really expecting much out of the hero suits anyway, because again, they seem to really be specifically made to just be promotional suits for the mechs, and nothing more than that. So I can totally understand that they just wanted to make a special suit for the mechs before we get into the real meat and potatoes of the story later on in the year. I just only wish that they had the armor pieces, but overall, despite a big disappointment in terms of having no new suits for Eren and Sora, that one actually is pretty disappointing for me. I was really looking forward to seeing new outfits for those characters. I'm pretty happy with everything else, and I'm just excited for what's to come, because if this is just a taste of what Ninjago 2024 has to offer, that makes me very, very excited for the future. And so, these are all of the minifigures from Ninjago Dragons Rising Season 2, Wave 1 out of 3. We know we're getting a summer wave and a March wave, at the very least, so this is kind of the first of many waves to come this year, and I hope you enjoyed this first look at the Ninjago Dragons Rising minifigure selection. Alright, and with that, we have summed up our look at some of the brand new LEGO Ninjago minifigures that came in the January wave. Personally, these are pretty standard suits. They definitely feel like very uniform suits that you would normally get for a gimmick wave, and I am very, very excited for the Climber suits to come out in March and the summer because they seem a little bit more interesting, having had hands-on with them all the way in Bill in Denmark back in September for Fan Media Days. I can confirm the climbing suits are really, really cool. I can't wait to see the rest of them, but for now, I hope you enjoyed this look at all of the January 2024 LEGO Ninjago minifigures. Let me know which are your favorites down in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe for even more LEGO news, reviews, discussion, and analyses coming your way very soon, and bye for now.